When you think of a rainbow, what comes to mind? The iconic arc of vibrant colors stretching across the sky like nature's own Instagram filter. It's almost impossible to imagine a rainbow without it being in that signature semicircular shape. But what if I told you that rainbows are actually always circular? Yes, circular. And that semicircle you usually see, it's just part of a much bigger picture. In this video, we're going to dive into the scientific magic behind these colorful wonders and explore why they behave the way they do. Buckle up and let's get colorful. Why are rainbows circular? Rainbows are always full circles, but we typically see only a half arc because the ground blocks the bottom half. Rainbows form when light refracts, bends, and reflects inside water droplets, creating a circular pattern. Standing on the ground limits our view, but from an airplane or high vantage point, you might glimpse a full circular rainbow, a rare 360-degree spectacle. The phenomenon is more visible when sunlight interacts with a broad area of water droplets, like after a rain shower. So, the next time you see a rainbow, remember, it's just a segment of a much larger, vibrant ring that stretches all around. Cool, right? The science behind the colors. Rainbows are created by a process called refraction, where light bends as it passes from air into water. When sunlight enters a water droplet, it slows down and bends, separating into colors. This is similar to how light passes through a prism, splitting into red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. The angle at which light bends around 42 degrees for red and 40 degrees for violet is crucial in forming the rainbow's arc. Additionally, light reflects off the droplet's inner surface, spreading the colors into distinct bands. Longer wavelengths like red bend the least, placing them on the outer arc, while shorter wavelengths like violet bend more, positioning them inside. This precise bending and reflecting give rainbows their vibrant color spectrum and circular shape. How white light becomes a spectrum. You know how white light looks, well, white. But did you know it's actually made up of a whole bunch of colors? It's like the light version of a hidden rainbow. This process is called dispersion, where different colors of light bend by varying amounts due to their different wavelengths. Violet light bends the most because of its short wavelength, and red bends the least due to its longer wavelength. So when sunlight passes through raindrops, each color is separated and spread out to form a stunning spectrum. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. It's like the light is showing off its entire wardrobe. The exact order of these colors is determined by how much each wavelength bends, giving us the familiar rainbow pattern. This bending and separation are what give rainbows their full, vibrant color display. The role of rain in making a rainbow. What's the role of rain in all this? Well, rain droplets act like tiny prisms, bending and reflecting light to create the rainbow effect. Without these droplets, there would be no rainbow. Interestingly, the size of the raindrop also affects the quality of the rainbow. Larger raindrops produce brighter, more vivid colors, while smaller droplets result in softer, more pastel hues. This is because bigger drops create more precise reflections, while smaller drops scatter the light more. So when you're standing there admiring the rainbow, just remember it's the hard-working raindrops, each playing their part to create a beautiful show in the sky. Whether you see a sharp, bright arc or a soft, muted one, it's all thanks to the rain. Why we see colors in the order we do. When you look at a rainbow, the colors always appear in the same order. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. But have you ever wondered why? This happens because of something called wavelength. Light is made up of waves, and each color has its own wavelength. Longer wavelengths, like red, bend the least as light passes through raindrops, while shorter wavelengths, like violet, bend the most. This difference in bending causes the light to spread out into distinct color bands. As the light exits the raindrop, the various colors are separated, forming the vivid spectrum we see in every rainbow, without fail. The order of the colors is a direct result of how much each wavelength bends, creating the uniform pattern that we recognize. So when you spot a rainbow, you're not just seeing a random splash of colors, you're witnessing the universe's most orderly and harmonious display of light. Why each rainbow is unique. Ever heard the saying, "Beauty is in the eye of the beholder"? When it comes to rainbows, this saying couldn't be truer. The position of the observer plays a huge role in the formation of a rainbow. The rainbow you see depends on your specific location relative to both the sunlight and the rain droplets. The angle at which the light enters your eyes, combined with the unique position of the raindrops in the sky, means that two people standing at different spots can see slightly different rainbows. Even more fascinating, this means that each rainbow you see is essentially unique to you. The light you're seeing is refracted and reflected in a particular way, specific to your viewpoint. If you could get enough people together, each person would likely be able to spot their own individual rainbow, creating a spectacular collection of personal rainbows for every observer. This is what makes the rainbow not just a beautiful natural phenomenon, but also a uniquely personal experience. When nature gets greedy. Have you ever seen a double rainbow? It's like the universe said, one rainbow is nice, but two, now that's a show. A double rainbow occurs when light is reflected twice inside the water droplet. The primary rainbow appears outside, and the secondary rainbow, which is fainter, appears on the inside. The order of colors is reversed in the secondary rainbow. Red appears on the inside, and violet on the outside. It's like the rainbow decided to throw a party, and everyone's invited. The legend of the rainbow's end. You know the old myth that says if you reach the end of the rainbow, you'll find a pot of gold. Well, spoiler alert, there's no treasure waiting for you, but there's something equally magical: the science behind the elusive end of the rainbow. In reality, a rainbow doesn't have a single point of origin or an end. It's a circle, remember? And it's always formed in relation to your position relative to the light source and the water droplets. So the end of the rainbow isn't really a place, it's just where you perceive it to be. And it's always moving with you. Talk about a tease. How light and water create a spectacle. A rainbow is a perfect example of how light and water can work together to create something truly spectacular. It all starts with sunlight, which is made of all the colors of the visible spectrum. When sunlight hits raindrops in the air, it gets bent and reflected inside the droplet. Then the light exits the droplet, and voila! The result is a perfect arc of colors. But did you know that the more droplets you have, the more intense and vivid the rainbow becomes? That's why after a heavy rainstorm, you might see one of those mind-blowing full-arc rainbows that seem to stretch endlessly. The physics of why we can't always see a rainbow. You might be wondering, why don't we see rainbows all the time if the physics behind them is so straightforward? It all boils down to the fact that we need a specific set of conditions for a rainbow to appear. For starters, the sun needs to be low in the sky, usually during early morning or late afternoon. Plus, there needs to be rain or moisture in the air. If the rain has stopped but the sun is still shining, you've got just the right conditions for a rainbow to form. It's like the universe is pulling off a magic trick, and we get to be the lucky audience when it all comes together. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the science behind rainbows, make sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.